What's up guys, everyone is here back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video I'm going to be going over the new Prism portal, the Barbarian summon pool, and just whether or not you should really be going for it or focusing on it throughout this Wixwell fusion, because if you do focus on it, you could lose resources. So let's do this. All right, first things first, we've got the Barbarian summon portal here, or summon pool, rather. And we do have a Unity champion, which is Dune Lord Gregor. Looks pretty sick, not gonna lie. They always kill it with their aesthetics. Their champion builds are just amazing. Like, this guy looks so insane. I would love to have him on my account, but of course, it's really difficult to get these Unity champions. So on his A1, he attacks one enemy, 50% chance placing a provoke, and it's based on defense. It's for one turn provoke, which is not bad. 50-50 shot to land it. And then on the A2, attacks all enemies, decreases the duration of all enemy buffs by one turn, and increases the duration of all ally buffs by one turn. Also, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 20% of his max HP. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown. We'll check what his actual max HP is in a second. On his A3, places a 50% increased attack and increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. That is strong. And with one Barbarian faction ally, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion's by 1 turn. With 2 faction allies on the same team, fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. And with 3, activates an instant turn effect on the ally with the highest crit damage except this champion. This guy would be bonkers in Hydra. Absolutely bonkers in Hydra. So with the Trundas, well, actually, no, you can't do it with Trunda. What other champion can you use? I'll have to take a look which other damage dealers you could use. It's on a 4-turn cooldown if you book it out, but that's pretty crazy. This guy's a beast. There are champs from the Barbarians that you can utilize. That would be very strong, especially for like arena too, right? Then he has a passive. When attacked, 20% chance of placing a provoke debuff on the attacker, occurs once per hit. This guy could be like a mischief tank, potentially. This guy is like really, really strong for Hydra. With one Barbarian faction ally, allies deal 25% more damage while to enemies rather, under stun, sleep fear, true fear, provoke, freeze, and petrification. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will take effect. 2 faction allies ignore 50% of the target's resistance when applying stun, sleep, fear, true fear, provoke, freeze, petrification. What is going on? Like, is there just no such thing as resistance anymore in this game? Like, I mean, I get it, but this is just bonkers. Like, wait, Armand's is a Barbarian, isn't he? Armand's is gonna kill everything with this guy. They just like made Armand's even more powerful. They doubled down on his skill. When counterattacking, instant effects and debuffs placed by allies cannot be resisted or blocked. Holy crap. So now you either have to block him or block Armand's. Obviously, you're going to want to block Armand's if he's put into live arena with Armand's, which is insane. And then he has an aura, increase all defense by 25%. Increase ally accuracy in all battles by 40, only applies to Barbarians. All right, let's go check really quickly. Here he is, Gregor. 19,485 base HP, almost 1,500 on the defense, and 105 speed. He's got decent ratings, nothing crazy. The reason why is because this should be he would be bonkers if this was a speed aura by 28%. He would be bonkers, especially if it was all battles. Or if it was like a speed aura 24% all battles, this guy would be insane. I mean, he's still already super powerful, and he's going to be insane for Hydra and live arena. If you have him with Armand's, it's over for the enemy team. Oh, Archer would be really good with him if you have Archer. Obviously, most people don't have Archer. I don't have Archer. It would be nice to have her, but him with Archer is going to be insane. Him with Xena will be insane. Valkyrie will be insane. So like Stone Skin Valkyrie, Stone Skin Gregor in live arena would be dirty. Especially if you have the ability to not be able to remove those buffs. Does he have an ability like that? No, just the debuff effects. Okay. Say he was in protection. That would be pretty sick. Because he does play shields, which is nice. And then provokes. Yeah, this guy's definitely a Hydra champion and definitely halfway decent in live arena. I think more so for Hydra, in my opinion. Who else could you use him with? I guess you can use him with basically anybody. You could use him with Jetney the Giant. So Jetney's actually pretty strong. I do love that huge skull on the back of her. That's pretty sick. Jetney the Giant actually does pretty good damage. She's kind of slept on as a damage dealer. But her with an instant turn, with him, her, and Crimson, this guy right here, they would be a wild pairing. And Turvold. Turvold's really good too. Yeah, I mean, he's going to be really strong with everybody. Like, he's really strong. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below, but he's just ridiculous. So that's that. Let's go take a look back at the summoning portal here. And of course, it is Alsgore. And there is a Valkyrie. There's a Contra who could be really strong too alongside him for like never-ending provoke. Elder Skarg is decent. I wouldn't say he's that great. He's decent. But the issue is he doesn't have an attack all enemies. It's attack 1 3 times, attack 1 enemy but 1 time, so UDK destroys him. He does receive less damage from legendaries, but I don't know. I don't really like him personally. I think he needs a buff. Like Fears doesn't actually do damage on this ability, just places Fears. I'm not a huge fan of Elder Skarg. I know he does hit hard against bosses, but in Arena, I think that's where people would have liked to use him. Personally, I wouldn't want to get this guy, but I don't have him on my account. Armands is where everybody's going to be trying to spend $1 billion on this guy. All the big spenders, right? But for me, I'd be like, yeah, let me get another Alika for a +1 or +2 empowerment. Who else would you want from here? Barak and the Fat is decent. Armina, not that great. She does have a drop defense. If you're struggling with speed champions, honestly, High Katoon, if you +4 her, she gets more speed, right? +10 speed. So that's a good champ. Woad Painted is actually very powerful now these days. She could be great +4, especially for healing and block active skills. Very strong for the faction, very strong for Cursed City. Jotun, he's kind of okay. Better in the new Cursed City, but he's not the best. He's just okay. He places a 4-turn HP burn, which is kind of interesting, but not the best. Aina, she's alright as well. Does somewhat decent damage. Nothing crazy as well. Hoskarul, not a huge fan. He just has the increased defense, increased resist, and a stun on all enemies. Let me take that back. I'm not a huge fan, but he doesn't do a ton of damage. But he does do stuns. He does have good CC, and he does have good support for your team. So he's not a bad champion. I just personally haven't used him. So I can't say he's bad. And I really should take back the fact that I'm not a huge fan until I use him. But I'm sure he is very strong. Tashada, I'm not sure how many people use this chick, but she does have a revive, one of the only epic revivers on the Barbarians, with a faction aura speed, which is nice as well. Honestly, I've used Vala as well. Vala is very strong. I used her in my Barbarians faction for a long time at level 50. I think she would be amazing at level 60 with a +4 empowerment. She would hit very, very hard. She actually is a pretty strong defense-based champion for the Barbarians for an epic. So yeah, so that's the summon pool. Again, people are going to be spending a ton of money on this. They're very, very expensive. I mean, this right here, 5 per day, it's 25 to summon, right? It's a 6% chance to summon a legendary, 94% chance to summon an epic, right? And there's no guarantee on this. There's no mercy on this either. So just remember that before you go and spend all your money on this. So yeah, so this one right here, 20, which is not even going to give you one pull for $5. You need to spend $10 for one pull. So, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do with your money. But personally, I'm not going to be throwing money at this time. And just keep in mind, if you're low on resources and you're trying to push, how can you get those summon crystals? What way can you get them? First of all, you've got Sand Devil's Turn Attack. Sand Devil's Turn Attack always has crystals at the end, which is a lot of points, 3,500. Personally, I don't have the energy to go for this time around. Maybe next time, but I'm just not going to be able to push Sand Devil. And Sand Devil is not going to help me. I could push it if I wanted to, but I have to spend a lot of gems, which could then hurt me in terms of trying to go for Wixwell Fusion. So you got to be careful. How do you value, for example, a 1 pull for a 94% chance to get an epic and a 6% chance for a legendary, which is literally just a sacred shard without the mercy. Plus, if you get 3,500, you're valuing these two items right here, which is an immortal and a mortal soulstone. An immortal is typically like $3 to $5 each, about $5, let's say. An immortal for one is $1, $1.50, $2. So you're basically using all your gems or maybe saved up energy for like 6, maybe this would be considered $20 because it's one sacred shard, right? $25 we'll say. So 25, 30. This is about $33 to $35 worth of rewards. So if you want to go for it, awesome. But just think about it. If you're going for the Wixwell Fusion, I wouldn't recommend pushing so hard there. And then we do have Ice Golem. So you should be pulling or pushing for Ice Golem and getting this Terex chick or this guy, whatever this thing is, this monster. It is a skinwalker. But I would recommend not wasting all of your energy there unless you have tons of energy to spare. Classic Arena as well. This one should be easy for everybody, so you shouldn't have a problem at all. Soul Chase tournament is coming up in 7 hours, which is going to be Tuesday. At the time of this recording, it is Monday evening. So yeah, so you're going to see Soul Chase happen. This is one of the better ones in terms of getting rewards, in my opinion. You have a higher chance at getting higher up on the tournament leaderboard if you're in a group, but you also have a better chance at getting the rewards on the right side for Champion Chase, or Soul Chase rather, because those Mortal Soul Stones is where it's at. So, for example, I have on my account 126 Mortal Soul Stones saved, 5 Immortals, and another Immortal potentially if I wanted to. I'm just going to save all these Immortal Soul Coins going forward to determine if I want to spend them on Essence versus on pulling Immortal Soul Stones, right? Because if you pull an Immortal, you get lucky, you get a legendary of your choosing on your wish list. That is super impactful on anybody's account. Champ training we still have going on. I recommend going for the Immortal Soul Coins here. If you can push even further, go for the Primal Shard and Legendary Skill Tome. But me personally, I hate champ training. It's such a grind, but I do love it once I finish upgrading my champions. Artifact enhancement should be easy for everybody if you just have some silver laying around. I went way overboard. I'm at 10,000 because I was trying to do a gear cleanse at the same time. And then Dungeon Divers is always the most annoying thing ever, where it's 3,700 to get Terex, and they're going to have back-to-back-to-back Dungeon Divers if I'm not mistaken. So be careful. You won't be able to complete Dungeon Divers if you have very few or very little resources and you're grinding just the Sand Devils, and then you don't have enough gems or energy to grind the dungeons, okay? Because Sand Devils doesn't give you any dungeon points, okay? Because you're not getting artifacts from Sand Devil. I wish you could get points from Sand Devil and from Shogun's Grove, but maybe in the future they'll reconsider that. I doubt it though, because then you'll be double or triple dipping, and they're not going to make money on it. So why would they do that, right? And then in terms of summon pool here, I've got 22 Sacreds, 12 Primals, 90 Voids, and 150 Ancients saved, ready to go. We do have 2x, or rather 1+1 for a Legendary Champion for Sacred Shards tomorrow, which is Tuesday. And good luck if you are going to be pulling your Sacred Shards. Again, you could pull a ton of Sacreds and not end up with a 1+1 Legendary. So think about it before you pull your Shards. And we do have a Summon Rush right around the corner. So Sacreds are going to be your most points, the most bang for your buck in terms of Summon Rush at 500 points each. And you could end up getting really, really nice, juicy rewards if you save your Sacreds. We also potentially have like a Titan's Path or Hero's Path coming up, which could coincide with the Wixwell Fusion during the end. So I might even just skip the 1+1, or maybe I'll just pull like 2 or 3, and that's it. But if we go to the news here, as you can see, there is, where's the Summon Rush? Summon Rush is the 17th, which is this Friday. Doesn't say anything about a path event, but usually, at least more recently during these fusions, there's been path events. So just keep in mind the path events that require either shard pulls or soulstone pulls as well. So I think that's it for this one though. Barbarian summon pool, do I give it a thumbs up? In terms of the champions, absolutely, huge thumbs up. In terms of the value, I mean, that's up to you to decide. You let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I'm personally not going for it, so that should kind of give you my answer in terms of the value. Obviously, the champions are extremely powerful. There's no mercy on it, and you only get maybe 2 pulls if you're lucky, free to play or low spend if you're grinding the dungeons. Again, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you all. Good luck, and I will see you on a video soon. Take care.